We will start the regular press conference by Minister Hayashi. The floor is yours. I do not have any initial remarks, so please ask your questions. If you wish to ask a question, please raise your hand. When you are invited, come forward to the microphone. Tell us your name and affiliation before the question. Yes, Aiba-san. Aibara, Asahi Shimbun, TPP. Catherine Tai, the USTR, has met the press, and regarding the TPP, she said that this was signed 5 years ago, and she was rather negative. So regarding this comment, I seek your observation. And Japan has encouraged the U.S. to return. Would you not change that attitude? Considering the engagement of the U.S. in the Indo-Pacific region, that is a strategic perspective, and also in terms of the interest of the U.S. economy, we think it would be favorable for the U.S. to return to the TPP. This position of Japan has been communicated to the United States consistently, and therefore our position has not changed. Going forward, between the United States, we will continue to collaborate closely in extensive areas, including trade policies and other areas, based on our viewpoint about the regional situation.
Next question, please. My name is Kaite from Mainichi newspaper. Now, revision of national security strategy, the need for capability to strike enemy bases. There's a lot of discussion ongoing, but at the same time, by the end of the year, 2+2 between Japan and the U.S. is planned. Now, revision of security strategy decided. Is that going to have any change on the position of 2+2, and what kind of outcomes do you intend to get? The next, Japan-U.S. 2+2 meeting. The content of that discussion right now, I would like to refrain from making any prejudgments, but in March, there was the 2+2 meeting, and there were a number of things confirmed. That is to enhance the deterrence and response capabilities of the Japan-U.S. alliance, as well as deepening of defense cooperation. We would like to continue to have energetic consultation between Japan and the U.S. Foreign as well as defense authorities to confirm the outcomes and the results. Now, what you have asked about the revision of national security strategy, there has already been instructions given from the Prime Minister. So there is already discussion underway amongst the relevant ministers. And therefore, at the Foreign Ministry, we would like to consider this together with other relevant ministries and agencies.
Yes, please.
And thank you for continuing to facilitate the participation of the foreign media in this press conference. It is appreciated. I have a very short and simple question, and it's prompted by reporting in the Japanese media that your appointment as foreign minister was opposed by some senior people in your own party. So the simple question is, are you soft on China?
Thank you for the question. Regarding the appointment of myself, I am not aware of that. And therefore, prior to the appointment, I just had the information from the Prime Minister. Regarding the policy vis-à-vis China, regarding the bilateral relationship of China and Japan, it is important not only for the two countries, but it is increasingly important also for the region and the peace and the prosperity of the international community. So we will work with countries whom we share universal values. Whatever we have to assert to China, we will firmly assert. We will ask China to take responsible conduct. Our dialogue will continue, and we are going to prepare against the common challenges.
Next question, please. Sugimoto-san. Sugimoto from Sankei Shimbun. It's about Afghanistan, my question. Afghans, 51 people, including Japanese, have returned to Japan. So all in all, 389 people have entered into Japan. Initially, about 500 was the plan, but more than 100 are still remaining in Afghanistan. So for these remaining people, for them to not be able to come to Japan, in addition to those reasons why they are not able to come to Japan, and when they, well, at the integrity of Japan, what is the level of determination for the Japanese government to bring them to Japan? Can you talk about your determination? Now, the situation in Afghanistan, after the deterioration of the situation there, the government has made various diplomatic efforts. And yesterday, on the 11th, as you have just noted, one Japanese national and a family member, as well as local staff at the embassy, as well as JICA office, 49 people. All in all, 51 people have come to Japan. And with these efforts so far, 389 Afghans related to Japan have arrived in Japan. Currently, the people who are asking for Japanese government support to leave Afghanistan, there is no Japanese nationals who are asking for support from the Japanese government to leave Afghanistan. Now, we want to provide support as much as possible to Afghans who have worked in the Japanese embassy or other local offices, and therefore relevant countries like U.S. and Qatar and Afghan's neighbor countries, we would like to work with them to make diplomatic efforts, including negotiations with the Taliban, to secure safety of Japanese nationals and local Afghan staff to enable their departure as needed. And when they are received into Japan, we would like to confirm what their preferences are. And in order to smoothly facilitate their lives here in Japan, we will be responding in a fine-tuned manner to provide the necessary assistance to them.
Abe-san, please. Yomiuri Shimbun, Abe, thank you very much. Prime Minister Kishida, regarding his visit to the U.S., he wishes to visit as soon as possible, even if it is possible within this year. What is the significance of the Prime Minister's visit to the United States, and can you tell us about the coordination? Regarding the Prime Minister's visit to the United States, specific timing has not been decided. On the occasion of COP26, Prime Minister Kishida and President Biden did have some conversation. So based on that communication, and possibly before the end of this year, it is true that we are trying to make the visit as soon as possible. Consultations are ongoing.
Next question, please. Furuta-san. Furuta from Hokkaido Shimbun. Continuing on from yesterday, I have a question about the negotiation with Russia. 2018 Singapore agreement that you have referred to yesterday. Prime Minister Abe, former Prime Minister Abe, based on 1956 joint declaration, this was to be positioned as the basis for negotiation. Now, this is perceived as making a switch to two-island return policy, but there has not been a review made. How is your interpretation of this? 2 islands or 4 islands? Can you talk about the policy of Japan in having this negotiation? Now, peace treaty with Russia. We don't want to postpone this to the next generation. We want to resolve the issue of attribution of the 4 islands to conclude the peace treaty. That is the policy of the Japanese government. Singapore agreement in 2018, that is included in our approach. Various agreements have been made between the 2 countries. Based on such agreements, we would like to work on the matter.
Next question, Aoki-san. Aoki, NHK. This is about the host nation support negotiation between the U.S. forces Japan. Considering the Japanese public finance, I wish to understand your position. And once again, regarding the schedule of 2+2, maybe doing it before the end of the year might be difficult. I seek your observation. First of all, regarding the host nation support, both governments of the U.S. and Japan, based on the agreement as of February this year, we are continuing our negotiation towards the new special measures agreement for April 1st, 2022 and beyond. In order to deal with that, regarding the increasingly difficult regional security environment and also considering the difficult public finance of Japan, we are going to take appropriate measures. About the schedule of 2+2, about the next U.S.-Japan 2+2, as for the specific dates, nothing has been decided yet.
Any other questions? Maeda-san? Maeda from Kyodo News. Your plan of visiting overseas, Prime Minister Kishida has shown his will to visit the U.S. within this year. Do you have wishes to visit the U.S.? And there's going to be the NPT review meeting. Your plan for overseas trips, please. Japan-U.S. as well as various diplomatic relations. There are many important relationships, and therefore I would like to make coordination to deploy my diplomatic efforts. Right now, there are no specific plans.
Further questions, please? Yes, please.
Will behave responsibly. What does that mean in concrete terms? And in what respect is China currently falling short of that standard?
As was mentioned earlier, regarding the bilateral relationship of Japan and China, it is important not only for the two countries, but also important for the peace and prosperity of the region and the world, and increasingly so. And therefore, the position of Japan is, together with countries whom we share universal values, vis-à-vis China, whatever we have to assert, we will firmly assert, and we will request responsible conducts, and dialogues will continue and will cooperate on common challenges.
Are there any other questions? If not, we are bringing this conference to a close now. Thank you.